So the breaking news this morning, it's official. It's official. Fabio Wardley on June the 7th will face Jarrell Miller. He will actually face Jarrell Miller, and it will be for the interim WBA World Heavyweight title, a glorified mandatory. And with the WBA, you don't really know, is it for the main title, which Alexander Usyk holds, or the regular title, which Kubrat Pulev holds? Someone left a comment and said, I bet you already know what fight's happening. And I was like, well, yeah, I knew this fight was done a couple of days ago. And my thoughts then when I heard it was, oh my God, what a scrap. And my thoughts now still are, oh my God, what a scrap. Having said that, right, now look, I love the fight. I think it's going to be a brilliant scrap. I like the fact they're doing it in Ipswich Town Stadium, Portman Road. I think the atmosphere will be phenomenal. Fabio Wardley brings those Ipswich fans. If I wanted to attend that, from Stratford in East London, the train goes literally directly to Ipswich. So it would take me about an hour and a bit to actually get there. So it would be handy for me. I'd actually quite like to go. Not as a fan, I'd probably just go with media, but it'd be an epic event, right? It will be an epic event. But a lot of people have two things they want to talk about with regards to this fight, and they're both very, very valid points, right? The first is why is it not Kubrat Pulev when you consider that Fabio Wardley is number one ranked, and on paper, the Kubrat Pulev fight is actually probably an easier fight. It's fiddly, because Kubrat Pulev is that kind of fighter, but he's seen better days. He's in his mid-40s now, and you've something to gain in a sense of it is a title of sorts. It's a secondary title, but you can still call yourself, well, I mean, Daniel Dubois was regular champion with the WBA, but we only really recognize him as champion now, as IBF champion, as a one-time champion, not a two-time. So you have something to gain as such with the regular belt. Whereas Miller, it's an altogether different fight. It's a much tougher fight, I think, on paper, and it is. And I see a lot of people already say that actually, no, they're going for Miller to win. And I'll be favouring Fabio Wardley, yes. But if it was Wardley Kubrat Pulev, I would say, yeah, he probably wins it fairly handily. Maybe has a couple of awkward rounds early on, but ultimately takes over and stops Kubrat Pulev mid to late rounds. This one I'm altogether, I don't know. Because Miller what you see is what you get with him. He's a big lump. He's 300 plus pounds. He moves forward. He's no real regard for defense. He takes your shots and he outworks you. And for some, that can be absolutely soul destroying. You hit him with your best shot and he's still on you like a bad smell. With Wardley, with that, bull in the china shop kind of way that he fights at times, when he sees that red mist, I don't know, if he can't put a significant dent in Jarrell Miller early on, it's really going to be interesting to see what happens. And I know against Fraser Clark in the first fight, Fraser Clark was better at masking the fatigue than Fabio Wardley was. Fabio Wardley was fatigued in that fight. It's the first time he'd gone 12. It was fought at a decent pace. Fraser Clark was more fatigued come the end of the fight, but he did a better job of masking it. How will Wardley cope mentally and physically if he's in there with a Jarrell Miller who's 300 pounds, who he's not able to hurt, because he's normally hurting these guys when he hits them. Even in the first Fraser Clark fight, he had Fraser Clark down and hurt on occasions in that fight. So it's not like he was questioning his power. It was just that he was in there on the night with someone who was very, very good. Fixed that the second time around. So yeah, with Miller is going to be interesting. If he can put a dent in him, what happens late on? What happens down the road? Down the road. So I get that. I think it's interesting as hell. I would still make Wardley favourite. I think Daniel Dubois, although I was going to say Daniel Dubois kind of showed what you do, but that was a Miller very heavy. Like, even by his standards, that was too heavy. Against Andy Ruiz, he was lighter, and he looked a lot better in that fight. So if you get that version of Jarrell Miller, it's going to be a real tough night for Fabio Wardley. Very, very tough night. What a lot of other people have a problem with is the fact that Jarrell Miller, a guy who's failed multiple PED tests in his career, he's shown no remorse whatsoever for any of that. He is getting a stadium fight, and worst of all, he's getting an interim WBA title fight. And if he wins, he's next in line to challenge for the WBA title, whether it be the regular or the full, either or. Bypassing people like Michael Hunter, who again, he's not done really anything either, to warrant it, but nevertheless, they were saying that the winner of Pulev versus Fabio Wardley, if that fight happened, would then be mandated to fight Michael Hunter. And here is Jarrell Miller just sidestepping everyone, jumping the queue. I get that. It's WBA. The WBA and the WBC are just absolutely. It's like that scene in Family Guy. Do you ever see it where you have the two kids arguing and the guy comes in and goes, kids, you're both just awful. That's the WBA and WBC. Like that meme there, that is literally, that Family Guy scene is literally the WBA and WBC. You're both just awful. Really. So the WBA, they'll do what they gotta do. In terms, as I said, of the fight, I really like it. I think it's going to be an epic event. I think that this is another thing that Frank Warren is... Man, Frank Warren has done over the last 2 years, 3 years really. It's... I never thought when Frank Warren was doing the Box Nation shows, Raynham Steel were the sponsors, some of the shows were so obscure, it was just crazy. And now he's doing stadium fights with Saudis. He's talking about doing shows in America. He's battering Eddie Hearn from pillar to post. I mean, they announced the undercard for Johnny Fisher versus Dave Allen too, and it's all right. It's not a bad undercard, but I look at some of Queensbury's undercards and I'm like, for standard DAZN shows, and I'm like, you see the difference in the stable. You see where one is and the other is in terms of where they are at in boxing anyway. Matchroom are doing great in other aspects, but Queensbury in boxing sense, it's just Frank Warren is knocking everyone out of the park. Even some of the American guys. Frank Warren is just knocking everyone out of the park. He really is. This is another example. Whether you agree or disagree with Miller getting these opportunities, I still think the fight is going to be epic. I'm running with Fabio Wardley. I'm just buzzing for it. I think it's going to be epic. In Portman Road, Ipswich Town. Listen, I hope to get up to it. Like I said, the train from Stratford Station goes National Rail, Greater Anglia, goes straight up there to Ipswich. So it should be, man, it'd be epic. It'd be epic to go up and see it. So, yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed the video, people. As always, if you could, smash the like button. Oh, and we are going live this evening. I need to figure out the running order, but I want to go live. We're doing a watch along. I want to go live about just before the co-main, which is Adelaide versus Jamie TKV. So we're going to go live by then. Let's say roughly 8:30, 9 o'clock, thereabouts. I'm looking forward to it. We haven't done a watch along in a while. So we haven't done a watch along since Fury Usyk. So here we go. Or have we? No, we have. We've done a watch along. We haven't done a watch along since Last Crescendo. So here we go. Looking forward to it, people. I hope you enjoyed it. Smash the like button if you could. Hit subscribe, of course, as always, if you haven't already. Peace. Oh, and just before I go, look there on screen. Tonight we have our first Queensbury show, and DAZN until April the 7th, 30% off annual membership, whether that be upfront or monthly, 30% off. This card tonight is just the start. Boots Ennis. Next week, we have Ben Eubank. We have that guy, Josh Taylor. I had to think there, Josh Taylor. We have him. We've got Wardley versus Miller now. We are doing great stuff on DAZN. Link will be in the description. Please check it out.